Hello, good evening. Salam, namaste. I hope everybody is here for us. So looking forward to a discussion with Mani Mugdha today, and he'll be here at 8:30. And we are going to be talking about the Sultans and the Shahenshahs of Delhi, the period of Delhi from the 13th to the 19th century. Waiting for Mani to join. I hope everybody is keeping well.
आ गया राना मैम।
हेलो, देखिए हम लोग इतने वक्त के पाबंद हैं हमेशा।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
वक्त
मेरी
इज
घड़ी में
समथिंग आई वैल्यू अ
8:28
लॉट।
बजे है। हाँ, लॉन्ग टाइम राना मैम।
2 मिनट
मेरे
पहले
बाल इतने लंबे हो गए हैं कि अब ऑड्री हेपबर्न जैसा मैं अपना हेयर ड्रेस कर सकता हूँ।
क्या किया जाए भाई, ये मौसम ही है ऐसे, मतलब ये इन दिस लॉकडाउन तो हमारा सबका यही
हाँ
हाल है। मेरे खुद बाल इतने लंबे हो गए, मतलब खैर हमारे तो कोई बात नहीं, लंबे हो जाए, लेकिन आई लाइक टू कीप इट शॉर्ट।
हाँ
तो
हाँ।
थोड़े से लंबे हो
राइट
गए, चलिए
राइट।
कोई बात नहीं। और हमारे सब लोग आ रहे हैं। देखिए वक्त की पाबंदी
हाँ
बहुत जरूरी है, बिकॉज इफ यू रिस्पेक्ट टाइम, टाइम रिस्पेक्ट्स यू, एंड वी आर हियर टू टॉक अबाउट टाइम टुडे. So as
एब्सोल्युटली।
historians, I think that's the one thing that we do is talk about time. I guess tonight is Mani Mugdha Sharma. I don't think there's anybody who doesn't know him, but even then I'll just read out. This is a beautiful book that he has written, and of course he's going to write many more after this. ये तो शुरू की बात है. And he works with Times of India. He is a very active quiz master and नाम भी quizzical guy है. पहले मैं सोचती थी कि आखिर ये किस तरह का इंसान है जिसका नाम ही quizzical है. And then I came to know him, and he's a treasure house of knowledge. और मुझे जब भी किसी चीज की जरूरत पड़ती है, मैं बस मनी को फोन कर देती हूँ, मनी इसका आंसर बता दो, and money normally has the answers to everything I need. And he
वेरी काइंड
takes
ऑफ यू
a
राना
keen
मैम।
interest in not only history but also in military history, especially military history, British and the Mughal empires and the two world wars. और ये किताब तो मैंने आपको दिखा दी, लेकिन आज हम लोग इसके बारे में बात करने नहीं आए हैं. आज हम लोग बात करने आए हैं दिल्ली के बारे में. दिल्ली
जी।
एंड द सुल्तान्स एंड द शहनशाहs ऑफ दिल्ली.
सलाम सबको। थैंक यू वेरी मच हम सबसे जुड़ने के लिए। सो वी हैव बीन डूइंग दिस, मेनी ऑफ अस हैव बीन डूइंग दिस कि हम इंस्टाग्राम पे या फेसबुक पे लाइव आते हैं, देन वी टॉक अबाउट थिंग्स दैट वी वांट टू टॉक अबाउट, और वी इंटरव्यू वन पर्सन एंड देन वी गेट टू नो व्हाट दैट पर्सन्स थॉट्स आर। पर आज मेरे ख्याल से थोड़ा सा अलग करने जा रहे हैं कि आज हम दोनों से जो है एक इंटरव्यू सॉर्ट ऑफ लाइव करेंगे, so that I
गुफ्तगू है
have
आज. आज
certain
we'll be
questions.
talking to each other.
हाँ बिल्कुल, आज गुफ्तगू होगी। So I'll have some questions to ask, and Rana ma'am will have some questions to ask, and at the end I'm sure many of you will also have your questions to ask. So सारे सवालात पूछने का आज ही बहुत सही मौका है, क्योंकि हम दोनों लोग हैं यहाँ पे और बातें करना अच्छा लगता है, लिखना भी अच्छा लगता है, तो I guess we'll have a fun conversation. So, as you know, the talk is titled of Sultans and Shahenshahs, how Delhi evolved from 13th to the 19th century. So, you can make out that, Delhi is key to our conversation today. And there's no better person than Rana ma'am who has written, a trilogy on Delhi monuments to, tell us and take us through the evolution of the name Delhi. वो कैसे पढ़े, कैसे पढ़ा ये नाम, and then what are the different theories. दिल्ली वाले भी नहीं जानते हैं बहुत टाइम पे, तो if you could just Rana ma'am, start this conversation with, your take on this, जो आपने बहुत अच्छे से लिखा है तीनों बुक्स पे, लेकिन फिर भी if you could just condense it for our viewers. कैसे पढ़ा नाम?
देखिए दिल्ली, the first we hear of Delhi actually is in मतलब we hear of Delhi as Indraprasth, and that of course is supposed to be the Purana Qila area where excavations are going on. They're ongoing to prove that the Indraprastha existed here. But anyway, there was a village there called Indraprath, which is a corruption of the name, जो 1924 तक existed inside the Purana Qila, and then it was removed when ASI decided to vacate all the old monuments. But उसके बाद जो है हमको मतलब जो earliest हमें reference अब मिला है, which we did not have earlier, was when in 1960s somebody, a contractor in east of Kailash, while he was digging for some for a building, for some foundation, he found a rock, and that rock turned out to be a minor edict of Ashoka. Now, and that is the earliest this thing of जो भी निशान अगर हम कहेंगे दिल्ली में, तो सबसे earliest निशान पिछले ज़माने का हमको वो अशोका का edict मिलता है, but that does not mention Delhi by name. So it just shows that it may be it was on the trade route and somebody had put it on the trade route, and this the writing on that exhorts people to follow the Buddhist way of life. So it doesn't mention कि यहाँ खास तौर से क्यों रखा गया है or anything to do with Delhi. And another very telling point is that when the Chinese Buddhist pilgrims are going to Mathura, they must have gone through Delhi, but they do not mention it. So Delhi obviously was not a center of power जैसे आज है. It wasn't very important. और ये theories सर सैयद ने भी लिखी हैं, बशीरुद्दीन अहमद ने भी लिखी हैं कि there was a ruler called Delu of Kannauj, and that is वो 300 AD में, and उनके जो गवर्नर थे स्वरूप दत्त जो दिल्ली में रहते थे, उन्होंने इसका नाम दिल्ली रखा on the name of Delu, राजा डेलू. But again, these are all मतलब historically जो है वो ये है कि with Bauli from the time of Balban was discovered, and usme in Palam, and that is from 226 AD, and it bears a Sanskrit inscription praising the Sultan, and there the name that is used for the place is Dhilli. Now Dhilli जो है, then 50 years later it's referred to in a paper by K.M. Malu. He says कि this has become Delhi because अब कहीं पे उन्हें एक वो मिलता है जो दिल्ली है. लेकिन if we come to before that जो डेलू नाम था पहले, तो Hazrat Amir Khusro referred to the city as Delu in one of his poems. He says, now give us a horse or from the stables, grant us a beast of burden, or give a decree to the skies that it may bear us to Dehlu. अब ये ढिल्ली जो है, तो ढिल्ली is the name, ढिल्ली का ये नाम था, और इसके पीछे वो बहुत कहानी, मतलब आपको it's a legend, it's a myth, it's not a historical fact. जो पृथ्वीराज की उनके लिए कहते हैं, अनंगपाल तोमर के लिए कहते हैं, कुछ पृथ्वीराज तो चौहान के लिए कहते हैं कि उन्होंने वो iron pillar है उसको they struck that into the head of the snake god, and then they pulled it out because he was suspicious कि ये जो पता नहीं उनके सर पे गया कि नहीं गया, and he had been promised कि if you strike it into the head of the snake god then your rule is permanent, but because he didn't believe it, so he took it out and कहते हैं किल्ली तो ढिल्ली भाई राजा भाई मतहीन. So another reason for the word ढिल्ली comes from the ढीला or the soft soil of the place. अच्छा फिर जब when after the defeat of Prithviraj Chauhan and when Muhammad bin Ghauri conquers Delhi and they come here, तो उस वक्त the word dha is not in Arabic, or that was the language that they were using. तो वो द हो गया, so दिल्ली हो गया, दिल्ली हो गया, Delhi, Dehlu, and which is what Dehlu is what Hazrat Amir Khusro uses, as I said, when he says, give me a burst of burden that can take me to Dehlu, and then Delhi. So up Delhi or Delhi. So in the literary register it was Delhi, which is the formal word. और प्यार से लोग दिल्ली कहते थे, आज भी हम लोग प्यार से दिल्ली ही कहते हैं. मैं जैसे हज़रत अमीर खुसरो ने इनको कहा हज़रत दिल्ली to give it the respect because of the number of saints here. And then this is something which I learned from Shoaib Daniel. This is what we in 2015 when we were talking about some, phonetics and language के ऊपर बात हो रही थी. And he said कि दिल्ली से Delhi इसलिए हुआ because in English H cannot precede L.
अच्छा.
So it was very interesting, along the way when you keep talking to people, you keep discovering it. And I researched it and I realized, yes, that is how Delhi से
Hmm.
ये दिल्ली हुआ. So that is
Hmm.
the story of this कि किस तरह से नाम दिल्ली का हुआ. लेकिन अब तुम
तो
बताओ ये कि why is 13th century so important for Delhi?
अच्छा, okay.
By any Delhi by any name is just a sweet, but the 13th century की importance for Delhi.
Acha, great question. Thank you so much for asking that. और बीच में a lot of people have been saying hi, तो उन सबको मैं
सबको
respond
hello,
कर रहा हूँ.
namaste.
Hello, all of you, and also my colleague, senior colleague Raja Bose has joined, तो उनको भी hello. Hi Raja. Hope you're utilizing your lockdown period well. I'm doing this apart from work. So 13th century is, that's why we have actually started. हमने हमारा जो publicity का mailer बनाया था 13th to 19th century. Because 13th century really is the period when there was so much that was happening. No, not just in India but across the globe. और खास करके if we really have to confine ourselves to the Muslim world, the so-called Muslim world, तो the Muslim world was going through a lot of churning 13th century में. So हिंदुस्तान में आप देखिए कि दिल्ली सल्तनत भी उसी टाइम पे कायम हुआ है ना. 1206 is the period when Qutbuddin Aibak he establishes the sultanate. And then you would see that usi time pe, you had certain changes in the Crusader and Crusades, or जो Muslims के बीच में था, the Christians and the Muslims के बीच में जो conflict रहा था, that also underwent a change, because उसमें क्या हुआ now, because the Crusaders were losing, now they started attacking their own Christian brothers. So you had, the Constantinople, which is attacked and sacked completely by the Crusader army, and Constantinople was a Christian city, Byzantium का capital था. So that happens in 1204. So उस time पे, and then you had, all these rival powers that were emerging. Abbasid Caliphate का power खत्म होता जा रहा था. So उसी time पे Delhi Sultanate emerges, and we have to keep in mind that after Prithviraj Chauhan's defeat, एक 10 से ज़्यादा साल का एक gap था जिसमें सल्तनत कायम नहीं हुई, because the Ghurid Sultan was still alive. He was ruling from Ghor, and Ghazni was also under his control, and then suddenly he dies. और उसके बाद he had his 3 principal commanders, उनके जो गुलाम थे, उनके बीच में जो है पूरा empire बढ़ जाता है. So you have Tajuddin Yildiz, who occupies Ghazni, he controls Ghazni. Then you have Nasiruddin Kobacha. Then you have Qutbuddin Aibak, and parallelly there's a Khalaj general, who is not under the authority of these 3, but he still goes on to find an independent kingdom in Bengal, Bakhtiyar Khalji. So, that's the period when there's so much inroads were being made by these migrants that were coming from Central Asia. तो एक तो वो हो जाता है आपका दिल्ली सल्तनत कायम होता है. Then you have at the same time you have the rise of the Mongol power. So, there was so much churning. So, there the Christians are losing in the Mediterranean area, and here you have the Mongols who are rising and now threatening the Muslim empires that were there. The Khwarizm empire was completely smashed by Genghis Khan. So, धीरे-धीरे आप देखते हैं कि, and this is very interesting because, the Khwarizm Shah was the last one. He seeks refuge because he loses to the Mongols. He seeks refuge in Delhi. दिल्ली आते हैं, लेकिन दिल्ली में उनको दाखिल होने नहीं देते हैं, बिकॉज इल्तुतमिश का जो है पावर उस टाइम पे कमजोर था. His grip on power was very loose. So he denies and he weighs all his options properly, and then he says कि no, I can't take the risk. So and he says no. And then this man is forced to go away from India. 3 साल रहते हैं in Punjab and Sindh, and then all the way he goes back to Eastern Anatolia में जहाँ पे वो खत्म होते हैं. Then you have because of this Mongol churning, a lot of people start coming to Delhi. Delhi का जो आज का जो हमारा जो एक cultural legacy है, that really starts from that period. Because of this Mongol, attacks, you have poets, you have artisans, you have architects, you have musicians, writers, philosophers, Sufi mystics. They all start coming to Delhi, and they all come with their own cultures. है ना. So दिल्ली में बसते हैं, and then Delhi becomes like cultural melting pot. उसका एक नया culture वहां से उभरता है. So this century is very important. So when all this is happening, and then you have the Mongols finally, after the death of Genghis Khan, they finally managed to destroy the Abbasid Caliphate 1258 में, and the last caliph is killed. Al-Mustasim is killed, and then suddenly Delhi ka status vis-a-vis the Muslim world is elevated, because now you have this huge city and one empire, which by now was, pretty confident in its power, because we are talking about 1258 to 1260. That's the period.
This is the
इस
time
टाइम
when
पे
it
आपका
becomes Qubbat-e-Islam, the dome of Islam.
एग्जैक्टली exactly, हाँ, एग्जैक्टली exactly. सो इन सबको जो है आप बुलाते हैं, आप इनको शरण देते हैं, देन यू एस्टैब्लिश देम, यू गिव देम जागीर्स, प्लेसेस टू लिव, एंड एंड इनको जो है उसी के टू कमेमोरेट दैट यू हैव दिस कुब्बतुल इस्लाम मस्जिद, द रेफ्यूज ऑफ इस्लाम. So, this century was like the most, interesting century when it comes to the history of, I think, the Indian subcontinent, because you have so many international players, who are having a role to play here. And then you also had, apart from the, invasions and all of that, you also had this cultural mingling, which, was happening, and the culture that many of us in Delhi are very proud of. We think that, this is exclusively, the Delhi-centric Delhi culture. तो इसका जो है origin भी वही है. All this would not have happened अगर the Mongols had not come. और Mongols नहीं आते तो ये लोग भी नहीं आते, उनका architecture नहीं आता. So all of these would not have happened. So, the idea of Delhi that we have today would have been, I think, very radically different. So Qubbatul Islam के बारे में I think आप अभी ज्यादा अच्छे से बता पाएंगे, because that's the Qutub complex, and I think that would be also my next question to you. To what do you think, क्यों बना? And then I think we should also talk about, the destruction of buildings, that's a very common charge that is, leveled against people who came from the outside, especially the Muslims. So if you could just talk about that.
So this is something like, let me again keep clarifying it, कि दिल्ली में दो लाल किले हैं. One Lal Killa, which was built by the Tomars, which was called Lal Kot. Lal Kot again means Red Fort, and the other Qila is the Qila Mubarak, which is also called the Red Fort. Now Qila Mubarak and by Shah Jahan and Lal Kot by the Tomars are 26 kilometers apart. So the Shah Jahan did not build his capital on the capital of the Tomars. But yes, the Delhi Sultans did build did come inside, and once they took over Delhi, they started to reside inside the same complex in which the Tomars and the Chauhans were living. And वो जो लालकोट का एरिया जिसको अभी हम लोग मेहरोली कहते हैं, जिसमें ये कुतुब कॉम्प्लेक्स आता है. And जैसे कि सबका होता है, as soon as they came, they all wanted to establish their own power by building their own अपना कुछ उन्हें बनाना था, अपने मॉन्यूमेंट्स, अपने इमारत. So अब तो आजकल बचा नहीं है, लेकिन जहाँ के ऊपर अगर आप कुतुब कॉम्प्लेक्स में जाइए तो पीछे जहाँ पे वो अलाउद्दीन खिलजी की कब्र और मदरसा है, उसके पीछे देयर इज द बाउली, और वहाँ सड़क है, उधर उसकी दीवार सड़क. So behind that सड़क is where they say Tutmosis palace कुछ के फिरोजी था. So Begler has found turquoise tiles there. Anyway, so इन्होंने वहाँ के ऊपर, then this place where you have the Qutub complex was the place. It was where you had 27 Jain and Hindu temples. And I read what Sir Sayyid talks about when he talks about it. Achha, he says that they made a mosque there, which was the Jama Masjid, because ye log aa gaye the, so they needed a place to pray. And he says very clearly in that, he says that the truth behind the construction of this mosque is that a temple built by Rai Pithoda, that is Prithviraj Chauhan, used to be located here. It is very famous and at par with the temple of Somnath. This mosque was made on the location of this temple. So these 27 temples were destroyed and the mosque made over that. And he says that, like after that, when he says that Sultan Shahabuddin defeated Prithvi Rai Pathoda in 1181, which is a wrong date that he's given, because इन्होंने 577 Hijri लिखी है. So, and he captured this temple, smashed all the idols, and laid the foundation of this lofty mosque. Now, Sir Sayyid, when he's writing, goes on then to quote a Persian verse, and I'll give you the translation of the verse. He says, "See the miracle of the house of my idols, O Sheikh. Even when destroyed, it becomes the house of God." So, it remains the house of God, and he talks about that. But this is a fact that jahan par bhi, whenever there has been a change of power, people, or whenever any powerful ruler has defeated any other rulers, the best way to establish their own hegemony and to establish their power is to first of all use religious symbols. And what is the bigger symbol than a temple or a mosque? And that is what Eaton has also talked of. That's how Eaton opens his book, Delhi in the Persianate Age, where he talks of that Rajendra Chola going and breaking the temple in Bengal because he wanted to show his power there. So this is something that is happening, has happened. And then when Alauddin Khilji decided to build his fort Siri, then they started stripping Lalkot. When Firozabad was being built, then Siri was stripped. Stones from here were taken and Firozabad was built, that is Firoz Shah Kotla. When Shahjahanabad was built, then they stripped from here and took it there. So recycling is something that always happened, and whether it is of secular building or religious building. But this is something that obviously is a fact that it's a center of Jainism also even now. Mehroli, वहाँ पे दादाबाड़ी बहुत मशहूर बहुत पुरानी मंदिर है वहाँ पे दादाबाड़ी, which again is a beautiful place. I've gone to there many times. तो ये सब है. And then I'd like to just share कि जब तुमने बात की कि of the same कि जब ये लोग आए हैं, they did not come with artisans, they came with architects. Architects इनके पास आ गए थे. But जो मेरी वहाँ पे the thing that I love out there is, if you can see the calligraphy. अब ये जो है ये calligraphy is on the screens of the mosque that was built in Qutub Minar. अब ये देखो इन लोगों को जो बना रहे हैं, they are artisans, and as a number of historians have written that they are probably the same artisans who built the temples who are now converting it into a mosque. इन्होंने calligraphy की, calligraphy का इनको सर पैर अरबी का तो आता नहीं होगा, so somebody drew it for them, and then they have embellished it, and they were allowed to embellish it. So I often think of this as a a knitting design. Okay, if you see, I'll just show you another piece if I have. कि किस तरह से उन्होंने उसमें मतलब they just kept weaving in their own identity into it. I recently saw one piece where उसमें ये देखो, see how this has been done. They've just woven in their own designs into the mosque, into the calligraphy, and these are वो जो bell होता है, all these are there. And the screen was not made from the temple screen was made fresh. It was made afterwards first by Qutbuddin Aibak, the second time by Iltutmish, and all these were made separate. The mosque was not. The mosque was made with the remains of the temples. तो इसमें जब ये बनाते हैं तो इसमें आपका वो भी है, eternal knot भी है. Now where did the eternal knot come from? That is something that fascinates me. In the middle of a Kufi calligraphy है और उसमें eternal knot बना हुआ है. So eternal knot is so Buddhist. So this is the shows जो कहते ना लेना देना जो बीच में था of two cultures, which is happening here, and that is what resulted in कि फिर हम we see the culmination of it inside the Qutub complex itself in the Alai Darwaza.
Right, absolutely.
When we adopt the lotus, और अगर हम कहें कमल के फूल, तो कमल का फूल तो सबसे पहले अलाई दरवाजा में ही खिल गया था, because अलाई दरवाजा का जो जितनी बीडिंग है वो कमल के फूल है, they all the कमल buds. So and then you have it on the, फिर तो बाहर का हर बिल्डिंग पर चाहे वो जामा मस्जिद हो चाहे ताजमहल हो, कमल होता है वहाँ पे. It's an inverted lotus there. But you see such a beautiful amalgamation of Seljuk influences on the Alai Darwaza, जहाँ के ऊपर now they know how to make an arcuate dome. So you have an arcuate dome, but embellished with lotus buds.
Exactly.
So that is the beauty of this, the cultural exchange that happened.
तो अब कमल का ये तो मुझे लगता है कि आज के हुक्मरानों को बहुत खुश करेगा अगर उनको पता चलेगा कि इतने सारे कमल खिल गए थे वहां पे.
बहुत सारे.
So I'm sure this is something they are going to appreciate. But so that I think is very fascinating because इस एक ही building complex में you have so many different buildings, reflecting different styles of different periods. I find it very fascinating कि एक ही जगह मतलब इतने सारे कैसे हैं, because Alai Darwaza is like completely different. So uske jo, that those narrow Seljucid arches that you see, you would find them replicated even in churches, बाद के. So वही है, मतलब वही से आया और सब कुछ मिलके पता नहीं क्या बना. So I find it very
हिंदुस्तान बना
fascinating.
ना,
So
हिंदुस्तान बना.
हाँ,
मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा तो सुर बने हमारा.
exactly, हाँ,
So
exactly,
which
हाँ,
brings me to my next question for you, Mani. What was the
हाँ,
impact of the Delhi Sultanate on the country, and why is it not talked about? Because बहुत लोगों को ये एतराज रहता है कि we don't talk about the South. हम सिर्फ मुगलों के
हाँ,
बारे में बात करते हैं. तो हम
हाँ,
सिर्फ
हाँ.
मुगलों के बारे में बात करते हैं, तो हम दिल्ली सुल्तानों के बारे में भी नहीं बात करते हैं.
हाँ, यही है, क्योंकि हम मुगलों के बारे में ज्यादा बात करते हैं. इनफैक्ट मेरी भी पहली बुक इज ऑन द मुगल्स. सो यू कैन इमेजिन द काइंड ऑफ द द अटेंशन, द काइंड ऑफ अटेंशन दैट द मुगल एम्पायर गेट्स vis-a-vis अदर डिनेस्टीज. आई थिंक इज वही पे आपका पूरा सब कुछ निकल जाता है. I think the impact was quite profound, because we have to understand that the Mughals extended whatever originally existed. They added their own things to the mix, but उसी trend को उन लोगों ने आगे बढ़ाया. So there is, of course, a military aspect to it. So for the first time you had, after a very long time, I'm not saying that they were the first to do it, but after a very long time you had a North Indian power that tried to expand and bring numerous territories of the subcontinent under its control. To what extent they succeeded is debatable, because Deccan May they ventured and then they had to leave. It was not a permanent hold. It was very shaky. Bengal May for a very long time they could not succeed. Just Alauddin Khilji fails to conquer Bengal. So that's the only place that he fails to conquer. Everything else he conquers. So one was this military aspect. For the first time there was an attempt to bring more and more territories under one central authority. There was also the cultural aspect of it. Along with the armies went the culture. जो दक्कनी ज़बान है, जो eventually what became the Hindustani tongue. ये तो बन ही नहीं सकता था अगर वो लोग नहीं आते. They brought their own Persian and Turkic influences, Arabic वगैरह सब कुछ आया मिलके and mixed with the local dialects, and then that's how the languages evolved. So there is this cultural aspect. The Delhi Sultan was also very successful, in articulating its authority. Unke customs, royal customs, impressed so many different, dynasties elsewhere in the country that they started adopting them. So the Sultan became the, like a symbol of authority, not just for the Muslims, but even for the Hindus. So you have something like the Vijayanagar Empire. वहाँ के राजा, they started calling themselves the Sultan among Hindus, right? Hindu Raya Suratrana. तो ये आया. हाँ, so the sultans among Hindus. So this Persianate system जो हम बात करते हैं आजकल, these are of course later terms, but still, I think it's an apt term to describe what was happening at that time. So you have these different kingdoms elsewhere in the country that were negotiating their own sovereignty vis-a-vis the larger sovereignty of the sultans of Delhi. Many times they clashed, but many times they also had this agreement, okay, we will continue under your shadow. So when Alauddin Khilji, when he goes to the Deccan, he does not kill anyone. So he just marches in, destroys their kingdoms and plunders their wealth and comes back. And he makes the kings whom he subjugates their vassals, his vassals. So he lets them continue. So you, for the first time, you see that now you have Hindu kings who are seeing the Delhi Sultan as the sovereign. So this understanding of a national power and a regional power, I think that evolves during this period, which I think is extended in many ways by the later Mughals. So they inherited this system, they expanded on it, added their own ideas of it. So this is a very profound impact, I think, and not just kingdoms in the Deccan, as far as Bengal and then further onwards to Assam. People were influenced by what the sultans were doing. So I come from Assam, so wahan pe you talk about several invasions of coming from Bengal. These were essentially, either an independent sultanate or a sultanate that is subservient to the sultans of Delhi. So that understanding of Delhi being the bigger power center had evolved by then. So I think that continues even today. So you have the Delhi, the center, which is in Delhi, which is dictating terms to the states. So ye is a legacy of that period. So that has not changed really. Then of course you have the Bhakti and the Sufi movements. We cannot forget that, right? So ये भी उसी दौर में शुरू हुआ. So because of this intermingling which happened, and these religious concepts which came from outside India and then mixed. So had there been no Islam, there would be no Kabir, there would be no Nanak, because they understood. Had there been no Sufism, ये सब नहीं निकलता वहां से. जो आज जो लंगर है, जो concept that we talk about, when there's a tragedy in Delhi or anywhere else, what happens? People, when the riots happen in Delhi or these migrant laborers were stuck, what happened? These langars opened up. Langars happened because the Sufis introduced it during that period. तो वही चल रहा है ना? It has continued. So, this is, I think, it's a very complex whole, which emerged from the long reign of the Sultanates. It's more than 300 years, and that's like a long time. तो
It's a
इसमें a lot
long
of things
time.
happen. हाँ, it's a long time. So इसमें बहुत सारी चीजें हुई, कुछ अच्छी हुई, कुछ डिबेट कर सकते हैं to what extent things happen, but they did happen. So I suppose उसमें तो कोई दो राय नहीं है. तो um, because I talked about the Sufis, अभी I think आप Sufism के बारे में हमें बता सकती है, the
So
effect of the Sufis.
I discovered this picture yesterday on my iPad. ये मेरा पहला walk था दिल्ली में. This is Lal
हाँ,
Kot, and
okay.
this is 2013, and this is when I decided I'm going to write about Delhi. So this is the wall of Lal Kot, and at the wall of Lal Kot, if you see here, there is a shrine. Now this is said to be the first Sufi shrine of Delhi. It is of Haji Rosby, and Haji Rosby जो थे वो आए होंगे, इनके ही साथी आए होंगे with the army of the Maurits, and he is buried outside the wall of Lal Kot. This wall that we saw just now, this is that Ranjit Gate. Now there's a man who looks after it. This man looks after it. He's the Mujawir. He told me about it, and there are many stories about it. इसमें क्या कहते हैं? Even Sir Tayyar talks about Haji Rosby. So even at that time, it is not as if Haji Rosby कोई नई चीज है. And then we have the first, which is very interesting. I'll just show you a picture. I do so much of my talking through pictures that I wanted to just show you one picture. Just give me a minute. That is of the first Islamic tomb that is made in Delhi. Now this is Sultan Gari. Now people normally call this Gadhi. It is Gari means from Ghar, cave. तो सुल्तान गारी जो था ये इनके इल्तुतमिश के बेटे थे नसीरुद्दीन महमूद, and when he died he said throw me into a cave because as per Islam आपको कच्ची कब्र होनी चाहिए. तो अब बहरहाल उनको कच्ची कब्र तो दे नहीं सकते थे, सुल्तान के बहुत इल्तुतमिश के बहुत चहीते बेटे थे. So then he made this a cave like thing and he buried him inside this cave. इनकी कब्र इसके अंदर है. Now what is very interesting कि it's a local, यहाँ के महिपालपुर के और एक दो और जो वहाँ पे आसपास के गांव हैं, they revere him and call him पीर बाबा. इनका बकायदा उर्स मनाया जाता है. And I'm just हाँ, जब मैं गई थी तो वहाँ पे देखिए यहाँ पे वो जल चढ़ा के पूजा हो रही थी और inside the ghar जहाँ पे उनकी कब्र है वहाँ पे there's a custom कि कोई भी when this is the कब्र inside. So जब किसी की भी शादी होती है, so the first visit of the bahu will be to this Peer Baba. And I'm talking of the Hindu families. So they will bring the bahu to the Peer Baba. जब Peer Baba की उन्हें वो मिल जाएगा आशीर्वाद, तब घर में वो चौके में जाएंगी. उससे पहले चूल्हा चौका वो बहू नहीं करेगी. So that's the मान्यता or the आस्था that these people have, and this is the first Islamic tomb of Delhi. उसके बाद तो खैर बहुत सारी tombs बनी, and Sufis also kept. इनको भी सूफी ही माना जाता है. फिर of course then you have so कुतुब साहब. अब कुतुब साहब तो की तो महल जो है वो पूरे सिर्फ मेहरौली पे नहीं पूरी दिल्ली पर है. and he is one of the most revered saints. बाबा फरीद के वो पीर थे, बाबा फरीद को बहुत माना जाता है. गांधी जी की आखिरी विजिट was to public visit was to Sultan, sorry, to कुतुब साहब दरगाह, and he came there, and after the partition थोड़ा बहुत वहाँ पे कुछ problems हो रहे थे of the refugees who had come, and he came there and he said कि ये तुम्हारे पीर के पीर के पीर है, because गुरु नानक देव जी बहुत मानते थे बाबा फरीद को, और ये बाबा फरीद के पीर थे, तो इसे तुम्हारे पीर के पीर है. And that is what I find so beautiful about Mehroli, के दरगाह भी है, औलिया मस्जिद भी है, गुरुद्वारा भी है, चर्च भी है, योग माया की भी मंदिर है. And this whole thing is such a beautiful syncretic place कि आपको एक ही वक्त में अजान भी आ जाएगी, कव्वाली भी सुनाई दे जाएगी, घंटियां भी मंदिर की बज रही होंगी, और चर्च से भी कुछ आवाज आ रही होगी. So and गुरुद्वारे से गुरबानी हो रही होगी. तो this is the ethos that pulled me to, because as I've said many times, मैं तो गल्फ में दुबई में रहती थी, मेरा काम था शॉपिंग करना. So my time was spent in buying matching purses and bags and जूता and chappal and accessorizing myself and makeup, lipstick, ये सब काम किया करती थी मैं वहाँ पे, because it was a very empty life. And then suddenly I came across Twitter, and then from Twitter I started वो शायर शुरू हुआ, then I started writing, and I realized that I needed a more meaningful life than what I had done, because उससे पहले, before coming to Dubai, I used to live in Saudi Arabia before that, in Jamshedpur and other places, and I used to teach history. So then coming to Dubai, फिर I started living this kind of a very empty life, and that is what made me feel so empty कि एक तो अपना subject छूट गया था. I used to love teaching, which I left, and then when I found Twitter, so it became a natural classroom for me. And so I just started talking about all these things on Twitter, and that is how my people started asking me to write. मैंने काफी magazines के लिए articles लिखने शुरू किए, and then of course the book Where Stones Speak. And मतलब मैंने किताब लिखी थी तो मुझे कुछ पता नहीं था किताब लिखने के बारे में, कुछ नहीं मालूम था, बस मेरे दिल में आया, I was very passionate about it, और मैंने लिखा, और उसके लिए मैं 100% सारा जो वो क्रेडिट है वो कुतुब साहब को देती हूँ. आसिफ खान दहलवी मुझे वहां लेके गए, मुझे लगता है कि कुतुब साहब ने की कुछ दुआ थी या जो भी था, कि कुतुब साहब ने मुझे खींचा, कहा लिखो. And I started by writing about him and about how कुतुब साहब के बारे में, then कुतुब साहब के जो, as I said, उनके जो खलीफा थे, खलीफा means the successor, उनके खलीफा बाबा फरीद थे, बाबा फरीद के खलीफा हज़रत निज़ामुद्दीन औलिया, और जिनकी दरगाह आज है हज़रत निज़ामुद्दीन बस्ती में. Now that area was called Ghaspur after Ghasuddin Balban. अब बलबन को तो कोई नहीं याद रखता, लेकिन ये जो सुल्तानुल मशायख हैं, the Sultan of the Sheikhs of the Saints, ये सुल्तान जी, as he was called by the Mughals. So सुल्तान जी की सल्तनत कायम है, और चाहे किसी की सल्तनत हो चाहे ना हो, सुल्तान जी की सल्तनत कायम है. And that is what they say कि 22 ख्वाजाओं की चौखट है, and which is why Hazrat Amir Khusro called this city Hazrat Delhi. And gave it so
बहुत
much.
अच्छा हुआ कि आप कुतुब साहब के दरगाह गई. नहीं तो बहुत अच्छा हुआ आप उधर गई, and this whole thing started, so that all of us have benefited. ये हम लोग आपकी क्लासरूम में बैठे हुए हैं अभी, तो ऐसा ही चलता रहे.
इंशाल्लाह, अगर रही मेहर, सब सही रहा तो inshallah. As I said, I like writing. History has always been my passion, and I taught history for a very long time before, as I said, before those 5 years in which I spent window shopping and actual shopping. उससे पहले मैं काफी productive life वो मेरी थी. I was teaching history, and I in between also did an MBA. I did an MBA in marketing, and I also taught business studies. So that was also something which I taught. So
nice. That was great utilization of time.
So I've had a very fascinating life, and that is, मतलब मैंने बहुत सारी चीजें की हैं, and I think that is what reflects in my work, कि मैं अपने काम में भी I'm not limited to one thing. The man Mughal is asking, I'd like to know more about the 22 चौखट. ये 22 चौखट पे मैंने पूरा Facebook live किया था, and I think I put it up on, if I'm not wrong, on YouTube. अगर YouTube पे नहीं है तो उस पे तो डेफिनेटली है. Facebook पे 2 मैंने सेशंस किए थे on the 22 चौखट. So क्या कहते हैं, अब जब हम लोग इससे बात कर रहे हैं कि कितने सूफी सेंट्स आए, अलाउद्दीन खिलजी के लिए कहते हैं कि जब हजरत निजामुद्दीन औलिया ने की तो खानका थी वो, जहाँ पे आज श्राइन है, आज बना है, दैट वाज हिज खानका, द प्लेस वेयर ही हॉस्पिस ऑफ द कॉन्वेंट, जहाँ पे वो आते थे, जहाँ पे हजरत अमीर खुसरो की दरगाह है, वो यारानी चबूतरा कहलाता था, जहाँ बैठ के अपने डिस्कोर्स देते थे. सो व्हेन दे रियलाइज, उनका एक कोई आया था मुरीद हु वाज close to the Alauddin Khilji, and he realized कि यहाँ पे नमाज पढ़ने के लिए कोई बड़ी मस्जिद नहीं है. So as per what Sir Sayyid writes के फिर उन्होंने जाके कहा कि तुम उनसे अलाउद्दीन खिलजी से कि आप यहाँ पे मस्जिद बना दिए. Then it is said that he said मैं बहुत गुनहगार हूँ, मेरा हाथ खून से सना हुआ है. And then he sent his son, and the son becomes a murid, and he builds that mosque, जमात खाना आज का है. तो वो तो खैर उनकी कहानी रही. अब अलाउद्दीन अपने आप को सिकंदर सानी कहते थे, और द सेकंड अलेक्जेंडर ऑफ Alexander the Second. So what have you, मतलब you have studied this period also. So what would you say about Alauddin Khilji's claims to being Alexander the Second?
Okay, so I think Alexander was quite a legendary figure. I mean, somebody to emulate for conquerors. I think, if I am not mistaken, I think Zulkarnain करके उनका जिक्र होता है in the Muslim world, or at least Zulkarnain is identified with Alexander. तो उसका एक already एक था.
Yes, with Alexander.
हाँ, Zulkarnain. So uska already there was this, this legendary larger than life figure of Alexander, which, because he was such a powerful conqueror. मतलब कितने तो Alexandria में उनका फिर इतना बड़ा मकबरा था जब था. It got lost in time, but his power was felt several centuries later as well. So, every conqueror, even some of the later Mughal emperors also, बात के मतलब. तो उन लोगों ने भी खुद को, they tried to fashion themselves as Alexander. And not just Alauddin Khilji, even Firoz Shah Tughlaq thought that he's Alauddin, he's Sikandar in this life. So, but Alauddin was, of course, more successful in that claim, let's say. So, more successful than Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Because Alauddin, उनका शुरुआत ही सब conquest से ही हुआ है. So, he was appointed the governor of Kara. So that was his first appointment. और कहते हैं कि मतलब बहुत, ये बर्नी कहते हैं कि वो बहुत परेशान थे अपनी सास से और अपनी पहली बीवी से. So he was looking for ways to get out of Delhi and settle somewhere quieter.
जहाँ की क्या कहते हैं, उनके बादशाह की बीवी थी. He was married to the बादशाह's daughter.
Yeah. And so सुल्तान जलालुद्दीन खिलजी की बीवी and मलिका जहां जिनको कहते थे, तो वो बहुत परेशान करती थी. अपेरेंटली द डिस्क्रिप्शन जैसा है कि वो माँ जो है अपनी बेटी को उकसाती थी कि उसको और ट्रबल करे. तो इसके जो है, इसके अंदाज शहाना है और इसके बहुत एम्बिशंस है. तो ही कॉन्स्टेंटली शी वाज पिकिंग हर दैट अपने पति को जो है ट्रबल देते रहो. दिस इज व्हाट बर्नी वगैरह कहते हैं उस टाइम पे. So, for whatever may have been the reason, but he does go to Kara, which is near Allahabad today. And वहीं से फिर अपना शुरू करते हैं, बिना सुल्तान को बताए वो फिर अपने campaigns पे निकलते हैं. So he would give a different picture to the Sultan and go out on conquests. तो देवगिरी पे चढ़ाई कर देते हैं, defeats the king and collects a large amount of booty. उसको लेके आते हैं. उसके बाद जो है फिर अब सुल्तान को पता चलता है, लोग बताते हैं कि देखो जो है आपके जो है सन इन लॉ एंड योर नेफ्यू, he is up to his own, so he's definitely something is cooking. तो सुल्तान जो है, बट सुल्तान जलालुद्दीन is like he's a very weird man. मतलब मुझे तो मैं इस वर्ड का मैं इस्तेमाल कर रहा हूँ, but when I look at the career of Jalaluddin Khilji, at least बर्नी जैसे describe करते हैं उनको कि मतलब way too lenient, way too tolerant, and who at least बर्नी उनका characterization करते हैं कि he would not spill another Muslim's blood. So that's what he was saying. So then he was also very unsuspecting. तो Alauddin traps him and murders him, calls him to Kara. वहां पे आके जो है उनको मतलब गर्दन उतार देते हैं उनकी. And then he becomes the Sultan. And immediately after that, he sets out on these campaigns because he realizes that खजाना तो खाली है. So if he has these ambitions, he would need a huge army. अब आर्मी के लिए तनख्वाह कैसे देंगे? So it has to be taken from other kingdoms. So then he starts, his campaigns, goes to Chittor, defeats the Raja there, then goes to Ranthambore, defeats the Raja there. Then, उसके बाद 14th century में, early part of the 14th century, he sends these campaigns one after the other to Deccan, वो मलिक कफूर के जरिए करवाते हैं, फिर all the way up to द्वार समुद्र तक जाते हैं. He defeats all the rulers there, collects huge amount of booty, makes them vassals. So when it comes to conquest, I think, उस हिसाब से तो मतलब, of course it was a very fancy title to have, or I think he was not very, apologetic about that at all. तो अलाई दरवाजे पे भी जो है खुदाई करवा देते हैं सिकंदर सानी, अपने कॉइन्स में करवा देते हैं, अपने इंपेरियल सील में डलवा देते हैं. बर्नी तो यहाँ तक कहते हैं कि he also wanted to find his own religion, कि अब वो तंग आ गए थे, एंड देन ही गिव्स दिस, एक वाकया सुनाते हैं बर्नी की, जैसे रसूल अल्लाह के जो है 4 उनके जो है एसोसिएट्स थे, हु बिकेम द रशीदुन कैलिफ्स बाद में, अबू बकर, उमर, उस्मान अली, हाँ, द कंपेनियंस. तो वैसे ही अलाउद्दीन कहते हैं कि मेरे भी 4 कंपेनियंस है वैसे, आई हैव उलुग बेग, माय ब्रदर अलबास बेग, मलिक संजर, या तो कोशिश तो करते हैं, बट देन ही इज डिसुएडेड. उनके जो है, जो दिल्ली के उस जमाने के किलेदार थे, तो वो कहते हैं कि जो है आप ये मत करिए, बिकॉज प्रॉफिट बनना, या बिकॉज ही वांटेड टू फाइंड हिज ओन रिलीजन, और खुद को प्रॉफिट डिक्लेयर कर देते. तो इन्होंने बोला कि यार ये तो ब्लास्फेमी हो जाएगा, और सुल्तानों का काम नहीं होता है कि ऐसे दीन और मजहब जो है इन सब चीजों में घुसे रहे. And then he said, no, because he was very successful against the Mongols, which I think is like the crowning glory of Alauddin's reign. He defeated the Mongols several times. उससे जो है बड़ा कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ता है. वो बोलते कि अच्छा, अब मैंने उन लोगों को हरा दिया, अब मैं जो है इंडिया से बाहर जाके, मतलब आउटसाइड इन सेंट्रल एशिया, वो जाके वहां पे कैंपेन करेंगे. एंड देन अलाउल मुल्क, द किलेदार ऑफ दिल्ली, ही डिसवेड्स हिम कि अरे ये आप क्या करने जा रहे हैं, बिकॉज अभी आपके पास ना तो पैसा है, ना आपके पास उतनी बड़ी फौज है, और लोग आपको मानते नहीं है, बिकॉज खिलजीज, वी हैव टू रिमेंबर, दे वर कंसिडर्ड टू बी आउटसाइडर्स, बिकॉज दे वर सीन एज नॉन टर्क्स. बलबन तक तो ठीक था, बाद कैकोबार तक ठीक था, दे वर ऑल टर्क्स, लेकिन इनको लोग तुर्की नहीं मानते थे, तो देयर रेन वाज कंसिडर्ड टू बी इलेजिटिमेट समवॉट. तो इसीलिए हिज होल्ड वाज स्टिल टेन्यूअस. तो उनको जो है मशवरा देते हैं कि अच्छा, बाहर जाने का छोड़िए, आप विद इन योर टेरिटरीज आप इसका कुछ करिए. देयर आर सो मेनी रिच किंगडम्स, हिंदू किंगडम्स हैं, वहां पे जाए, उनके साथ जाके भिड़िए, वहां से पैसा इकट्ठा करिए. सो एंड ही वाज आल्सो वेरी सैटिस्फाइड विद दैट आंसर. प्रोबब्ली ही आल्सो रियलाइज्ड दैट इट वाज अ वैनिटी प्रोजेक्ट अगर बाहर जाते तो. So, that's why, but at least, his vanity had to be, assuaged. It had to be appeased. तो खुद को जब डिक्लेयर करता है सिकंदर सानी, कोई ऑब्जेक्ट नहीं करता है, बिकॉज इट्स नॉट अ प्रोफेटिक थिंग टू डू. अगर प्रॉफिट को लेकर कुछ करते तो आई थिंक उस जमाने में जरूर ट्रबल हो जाता, बिकॉज उल्मा से उनका जो है रिलेशन अच्छा नहीं था. और इनफैक्ट निजामुद्दीन औलिया के साथ भी बड़ा ही एक स्ट्रेन किस्म का रिलेशनशिप रहा, जबकि निजामुद्दीन औलिया मिलना नहीं चाह रहे थे उनसे. He says, Khidr Khan, one door, I'll go away from the other door. I have 2 doors in my khanka. So, and he also does not push his luck further, because, I think उसमें क्या होता है, you have Sultan al-Mashaykh clashes with, Alauddin wa Dunya, Alauddin wa Deen. Because the sultans of Delhi would always have this invocation कि हम दुनिया के ही नहीं, we don't not just have temporal power, but we also have the spiritual, the religious power.
So this
Deen
is
और
a
दुनिया
title
दोनों.
which even Razia took, and हम लोग हमेशा उनको रजिया सुल्ताना कह देते हैं, रजिया सुल्तान कह देते हैं, forgetting that she herself never said that she was Razia Sultan. She always said कि सुल्तान, खातून, ये सब कंसोर्ट्स के लिए होता है या बेटी के लिए होता है. उसने अपना नाम तो सुल्तान जलालुद्दीन रजिया रखा. दुनिया उसने भी पूरा अपना यही नाम रखा था, क्या कहते हैं, जैसे कोई सुल्तान रखता है, दीन व दुनिया दोनों उसने भी रखा था. एंड दैट इज हाउ शी रूल्ड. एंड वी कीप फॉरगेटिंग कि एक सुल्तान वो भी थी हमारी दिल्ली की.
बिल्कुल, और पहली, इनफैक्ट और कोई, आई डोंट थिंक देयर इज एनी अदर इंस्टेंस कम से कम हिंदुस्तान में, और कि इतने बड़े एम्पायर की एक जो है फीमेल रूलर रही होंगी. नूरजहां, खैर लोग कहते हैं, बट नूरजहां डिड नॉट हैव द ऑफिशियल टाइटल. नूरजहां के पास वो ऑफिशियल टाइटल नहीं था. शी वाज द क्वीन ऑफ जहांगीर.
नूरजहां
though she was very powerful.
Nurjahan was not a sovereign. She was sovereign's wife.
Exactly.
Razia was the
Exactly.
sovereign.
Razia was a
And
sovereign.
none of
तो
them, बाकी शहजादियां थी, जहानारा थी, very powerful, very rich, but शहजादी थी. बादशाह
हाँ
अगर हम कहें या सुल्तान कहें, sovereign कहें, तो सिर्फ
हाँ
रजिया थी, and Sultan Razia.
हाँ
So
हाँ बिल्कुल
even Chand Bibi, who was so powerful, was also just a regent. So and you
हाँ
have so many
बिल्कुल.
other
और उनके
instances of
टाइटल्स में
rulers
भी जब हम
like, but they were all either regents or something or other. देखिए सुष्मिता, आप फिर कह रही है ना, you would like to know about रजिया सुल्तान. आपको हम सुल्तान रजिया के बारे में बताएंगे, एक दिन पूरा सेशन करेंगे
हाँ
सुल्तान रजिया के ऊपर. अच्छा,
हाँ
आप
और उन
सुल्तान रजिया सुल्तान मत कहिएगा बस उनको.
हाँ मैं हमेशा इनफैक्ट whenever I write my stories also in the newspaper I always say Sultan Razia, not Razia Sultan or Razia Sultana, because
रजिया
उनका जो
सुल्तान
ऑफिशियल
is a
टाइटल था
very name for any daughter or a consort के भाई
हाँ
किंग जॉर्ज, क्वीन मैरी. बट ये किंग जॉर्ज और क्वीन मैरी वाली क्वीन मैरी नहीं थी, ये तो शी वाज द किंग
हाँ
जॉर्ज हरसेल्फ. शी वाज जलालुद्दीन
एग्जैक्टली
रजिया व दुनिया या दीन.
एग्जैक्टली रजिया अल दुनिया व दीन, ऐसे वो एक टाइटल वो है, एंड देन जलालुद्दीन
And
रजिया
Jalaluddin was
अल
also part of it.
सुल्तान.
I'm forgetting the
हाँ
point उसका क्या था, but Jalaluddin was part of
हाँ
her title. And something
और उसमें एक बड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट होता था, जैसे उनके सारे दिल्ली सुल्तानों में भी हम देखते हैं इंक्लूडिंग रजिया, दैट यामिन ए खिलाफत अल्लाह ऑफ द कैलिफ. तो ये सारे इनके सील्स में वगैरह ये सब दैट दे आर द राइट ऑफ द कैलिफ ऑफ इस्लाम. तो ये मर्दों के लिए भी यूज हुआ है, रजिया के लिए भी यूज हुआ है. सो इसमें तो कोई देयर वाज एब्सोल्युटली नो डिफरेंस जो हमें दिखता है व्हेन इट कम्स टू द सॉवरेन अथॉरिटी. शी एक्सरसाइज्ड ऑल ऑफ दैट, शी हेल्ड ऑल द सिंबल्स जो कि अ मेल सुल्तान वुड हैव. तो उसमें कोई उस जमाने में तो नहीं हुआ था. बट ऑफ कोर्स यस, द फैक्ट दैट शी वाज अ वुमन, इट वाज नॉट एक्सेप्टेबल टू मेनी अदर मेन. और इसीलिए जो है 4 साल के बाद ही जो है फिर वो खत्म हो गई. एंड शी वाज देयर वाज सो मेनी कॉन्स्पिरेसीज अगेंस्ट हर. हर ओन
And
स्टेप
that's
मदर हैड
what
कंस्पायर्ड अगेंस्ट
वो
हर.
दिखते भी है ना कि she had all the qualities of a great administrator, but she was not
हाँ
born a man.
और born to the wrong sex. हाँ
हाँ, she was born of the
एग्जैक्टली.
wrong sex. She was not born a man. So
हाँ
मतलब उसके खिलाफ इनके पास सिर्फ एक यही तोहमत है, और तो कोई तोहमत है नहीं इसके खिलाफ. फिर later on in the later centuries we come to know about के भाई वो याकूत, and then you think of धर्मेंद्र and हेमा मालिनी. लेकिन
हाँ
there was no truth to the fact of Sultan Razia having an affair with Malik Yaqut, who was her father's retainer. उनके फादर के slave थे, and somebody whom she would
हाँ
have trusted a lot. अच्छा, एक बात हम करते
हाँ
चले क्योंकि हम लोग इसकी बात कर रहे हैं. So many times people ask me and everybody, yes, Paul patriarchy. So many times people keep asking me कि भाई रजिया की तो कब्र जो है कैथल में है तो टोंक में है. When Minhaj Siraj, somebody just talked about Siraj, when Minhaj जब ये तारीख फिरोज शाही लिखी जा रही है तो उसमें they talk about 18 villages which are part of Firozabad. Firozabad is the 5th city of Delhi built by Firoz Shah Tughlaq, and he says one of the cities is Bulbuli Khana where Sultan Razia is buried. So जब आज के दिन भी अगर हम कभी प्रॉपर्टी मतलब डिस्प्यूट होता है तो हम क्या देखते हैं, हम तारीख ही देखते हैं ना. तो जब आपको 1352 में ये लिख रहे हैं कि सुल्तान रजिया इज बेरिड इन बुलबुली खाना, तो 20th सेंचुरी में या 2020 में विकिपीडिया को आपको पढ़ने की क्या जरूरत है. मैं इतना लिख चुकी हूँ ये दो चीजों के बारे में. एक की बेचारी को चैन से सोने दो बुलबुली खाना में, और दूसरा प्लीज डू नॉट कीप आजकल भी वही होता है कि एनी वुमन इज वेरी सक्सेसफुल, एवरीबडी विल थिंक कि भैया बहुत सक्सेसफुल है तो जरूर देयर इज अ मैन बिहाइंड हर, कि she was successful on her own terms and
Absolutely.
not because she was
And
having
also,
an affair with Malik Yaqut. So please do not just keep Dharmendra and Hema Malini out of the history.
हाँ, and also the
Sultan Razia के बारे में there is only one instance in which it is said कि उसने इसको मलिक याकूत को मलिक को बनाया था, मीरे आखूर, that means in charge of the stables. और when he puts her onto the घोड़े पे जब सवार कराता है तो he puts his hands under her arms. तो इल्तुतमिश के लिए भी वही करता होगा. So nobody said कि there's anything between him and इल्तुतमिश, लेकिन क्योंकि इन्होंने रजिया के लिए ये कर दिया, so now later on 100 and 200 years later then you have lot of lurid stories about affair, which
Hmm.
are totally wrong. So because I'm very passionate about this fact, तो मैंने कहा चलो जब हम सुल्तानों के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं तो मैं अपने फेवरेट सुल्तान
Hmm.
के बारे में तो कर ही लूँ बात,
और बिल्कुल, और
है
उसपे
ना?
एक the unknown aspect is the lesser known aspect is the racism part, जिसमें Malik Yaqut was an Abyssinian slave, a Habshi.
हाँ
तो तो इसीलिए जो तुर्कान थे, जो द तुर्की नोबल्स, द सेंट्रल एशियंस, तो उनके लिए दैट दैट स्किन कलर बायस भी एक इट वाज अ नोन एस्पेक्ट उस जमाने में भी. So, there are records of later times, at least, where, certain other rulers, for instance, Malik Ambar or Ikhlas Khan, these are people who are pejoratively referred to as Habshis, and
हाँ
people who are of a people who had dark skin.
हबश, क्योंकि
तो एक,
इथियोपिया को हबश कहते हैं.
हाँ, अल हबश,
So
बिल्कुल,
people from
इसीलिए
Ethiopia
हबशी.
from that side were called
हाँ, हाँ,
Abyssinia,
हाँ,
Ethiopia. These places
हाँ,
are
हाँ,
called Habash in
बिल्कुल.
Arab.
जो कि बाद में वो एक रेसिस्ट टर्म बन गया, और आजकल के
हाँ,
जमाने में तो
तो
हबशी
वहां
बोलते
पे
हैं, तो इट
हबश
इज
के लोग
कंसिडर्ड
जो
टू बी
थे
अ
वो
बैड.
जैसे
हाँ,
हिंद के लोग हिंदी कहलाते थे,
हाँ.
उसी तरह से it was just that. So
Hmm.
it was just that.
So
And somebody
that
said कि
equality
Razia
was
never
not
sat
there.
on a horse. She did. She, in
Hmm.
fact, she threw off her veil. She refused to veil herself, and she dressed up like a man
हाँ,
and rode out on a
हाँ.
horse and elephant. और इसके ऊपर मैंने
Hmm.
बहुत लिखा है. आप अगर गूगल करेंगे तो आपको मेरे बहुत आर्टिकल्स मिल जाएंगे रजिया के ऊपर. And of course, Mani has also been writing a lot. You can Google our names, you'll get a lot of articles that we have both been writing very often. Yes, there was a Habshi king in West Bengal also. मैंने कल ही
There were
इसमें
four.
डाला है.
चार
फिरोज
चार
मीनार,
थे, एक के
जो
बाद एक.
फिरोज मीनार was made by the Habash king.
हाँ,
So
चार थे,
so
जो four sultans in Bengal who were Habshi sultans who came in
Habash.
quick succession. हाँ,
तो
एक के
मैंने
बाद एक
एक
आए.
सवाल, जब हम सूफियों की बात कर रहे हैं, देखिए जब हम सूफियों की बात करते हैं वी थिंक ऑफ प्यार मोहब्बत, जैसे कि हजरत मोइनुद्दीन चिश्ती ने कहा है, अर्थ लाइक
Hmm.
हॉस्पिटैलिटी, सन लाइक जेनरोसिटी एंड रिवर लाइक, बिल्कुल दरिया दिली. एंड दैट इज
Hmm.
व्हाट अ
Hmm.
पर्सन इज सपोज टू बी. कि आप देखिए जहां तक इबादत है या जो भी कुछ है, अब रमजान का महीना आने वाला है, सब लोग करेंगे इबादत. इबादत इज फॉर यू पर्सनली, इट्स बिटवीन यू एंड योर
Hmm.
गॉड. लेकिन आप जो इंसानियत के लिए करते हैं, जो आप बाहर के लिए करते हैं, दैट इज व्हाट इज योर कैरेक्टर. बिकॉज मैं
Hmm.
जिसको कहती हूँ ना, मैं बहुत दफे कहती हूँ, मैं सर पीट पीट के जमीन पे ठोस को जख्मी कर लूं, बट इफ आई हैव नॉट गॉट आउंस ऑफ humanity in me, if I don't have any empathy for people in me, तो फिर फायदा क्या? Mani, there is only
Exactly.
1.5 minute left. All those who are hearing us, we'll come back, okay? Because हम अभी 2-3 घंटे बात करेंगे. तो आप वापस आ जाइएगा. मैं
आज
just
बिल्कुल
finish.
माहौल बन
So
गया है.
it is हाँ. So I'll just finish with this and then we'll start the next.
हाँ.
I'll ask you the next question when we come back. कि it is and this is what the Sufis did. सूफियों के यहाँ अगर आप जाए तो irrespective of race, caste, gender, everything, you go there, you are welcome and you are part of them. एक ही थाली में खाना, जो जब ये आए हैं सेंट्रल एशिया से, तो ये एक थाली में वहाँ का जो सिस्टम था वही इन्होंने यहाँ पर भी किया. They lived outside these caste cities जहाँ पे there was so much of छुआछूत, and then you have these people who are welcoming you to eat in their plate. And not only that, आप हमारे पास आके बैठिए, हमारे बराबर बैठिए. And खानकाओं के अंदर तो खुला था. जैसे ही तुमने कहा कि लंगर जो है वो तो हजरत मोइनुद्दीन चिश्ती का आज भी चलता है, और लंगर था. बाबा फरीद के यहाँ लंगर में पैसे तो होते नहीं थे, तो ये तो फुतूर था जो सुबह आया शाम तक उन्होंने सब खर्च कर दिया. सो कभी कभी दे वुड बी कि दे वुड बॉयल बेरीज एंड ईट, मतलब जस्ट ड्रिंक द सूप ऑफ वाइल्ड बेरीज व्हिच दे पिक्ड अप. लेकिन लंगर जरूर चलता था. उसमें चाहे आपको वो एक बेरीज का, जंगली बेर का सूप पिलाया, जो भी पिलाए, जो भी उनके पास था वो आपके लिए हाजिर है. उनका दिल आपके लिए हाजिर था. And which is what was the attracted people to the Sufi movement or later on to the Bhakti movement. So अभी 27 seconds है. We will be back. All of you do come back. We will be talking again. Do you find the similarity between Rajputana, Mughal and Sikh architecture? I don't think there is any such thing as Sikh architecture. लेकिन हाँ, राजपूत और मुगल में तो सब आप हर चीज मिला जुला है ना. अगर आप देखिए तो जैसे जामा मस्जिद के ऊपर कमल है उल्टा, और राजपूताना के झरोके जो है वो आपको हर जगह मिल जाएंगे. राजस्थानी झरोके जो है इन एनी मुगल बिल्डिंग यू विल फाइंड अ झरोका.